Nerd reactor, roll out.
Before the show, were you guys fans of The Witcher?
No.
No.
I'd never heard of it, so I couldn't be a fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about The Witcher either.
And afterwards, did you, research it a bit?
Yeah, well, when I got the audition, I Googled Ciri, and I saw some images of her, and actually before my audition, I went into the bookshop and I read a few pages of the book.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it was like, because I'd seen clips online of the games and things, but I wanted to see the books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it was when I got the part, that's when I really started to immerse myself in the material, like the novels. Yeah, because that's what we were basing it from. Yeah.
And with the novel, when you read it, was there anything that just grabbed your attention? Like, oh, this is really violent.
I just think the world of it, I think you just, especially with the short stories, because there's so many stories. The pace is quite fast.
Yeah.
I think it's just a brilliant. He's created such a brilliant world that I was only excited to see how we were going to portray on screen. And I think Netflix was the perfect platform to do that with our ambition.
And for let's say the audition for just the certain characters, what did you channel with those characters that you're playing with Yennefer and with Ciri?
Rage. No, this is I play Yennefer from a 14-year-old to when she's in her 70s. So
Yeah. Sounds funny saying that.
I know.
You look good for 70s, man.
Ridiculous. But as you know from the book, she transforms and she stays in a 20-year-old's body. So for me, it was just I didn't have many things to help me with that change. So it was just a certain breath that I had to draw on. I had to change my breath, and and there's so many things I needed to draw from in my life, and so many women that I took from in my life.
For me, I just loss, because that is I think that is just something that's so. It's the thing that's most present in Ciri throughout the entire season, because she loses everybody she loves within one night, and
Spoilers.
spoilers.
Oh no!
Oh my god, you actually gave me a heart attack.
That word.
Yeah.
And so that was something that and it was hard because I haven't experienced that much, as the amount of loss she's experienced in my life. Yeah, so it was something I really had to when I would go onto set, I really had to get in a kind of mental state to make sure that I was getting it as right as possible, even though I've never experienced it myself. So I had to,
And
it was tricky.
For the characters, you guys have a huge arc. So you go from your origin story, and then a lot of craziness happens to your characters. And so, what do you guys feel about just the from a kind of crappy origin, and then you guys are learning about yourselves, and then just becoming badasses?
I think I have a pretty nice origin, actually. I lived in a castle, and then I got dumped and just covered in mud every day, and getting people wanting to capture me. I think my origin was pretty nice, actually. But no, I know what you mean. For Ciri, she at the start, she's so innocent and naive, and she has that curiosity, but the people around her aren't letting her learn about the brutality of the world, and then so she's thrown into the world, and she has to learn to adapt, and she has to develop herself, and she has to build a bit of a shell. And I definitely think, acting it anyway, I definitely felt playing the character that she changes from being very innocent, and then but she has that stubborn kind of feisty side to her as well. And then she's thrown into this world. She's very vulnerable. She's very weak, but she learns, and then you start to see that there's a sort of colder essence to her. Suddenly, you definitely see in her eyes that there's something cold that's starting to come into her because of how much she's seen, and it's her coping mechanism. It's the only way she feels she can deal with it. So I get what you mean. She sort of does build a bit of a harder shell towards the end.
Yeah, same with Yennefer. I think there's similarly, she just she gets thrown into the unknown, and because of that, I think when you just get chucked into something, you have to learn very quickly, and I believe she is the ultimate survivor. Yennefer, she is. She discovers where her power lies, and her weakness and strength come hand in hand, and that definitely sets her apart from everyone else.
And both of your characters each have their own unique powers, and was it fun just to do whatever powers that you guys have?
Well, for me, whenever my character has powers, it's literally just her screaming.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly. I mean, it was cool, but it was painful.
It was painful. So you had to really burst
I remember
out.
one night, and I had to scream, but they weren't doing my shot, so I was just doing these massive screams for other people's shots. By the time it got to mine, I was like, oh my god, like I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yours was kind of like a little bit more badass. Mine's just screaming.
Yeah, I feel like similarly with Ciri and the screaming, I had that at the beginning of her journey, and because she didn't know how, as a 14-year-old, didn't know how to cope with what was happening outside her because of her, what she was creating. And then she learns to hone her power, and that was pretty cool as an actor, to do a bit of magic and learn. Funnily enough, it wasn't as creative as I thought it would be. It was more like what looks good and what doesn't coming out of my hand.
What would you think?
So it was like me and the director going, does this look like I'm doing this? Does this look like I'm doing this? Or, it wasn't like I'm feeling it. Usually when I felt it, it looked absolutely crap.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what was an example of you feeling it, and then the director was like, "Oh no, let's not do that."
Usually I was like, giving it my everything, and he would be like, no, it doesn't look like you're doing anything, and I was like, oh, okay, what about this?
Yeah.
And my mind was probably blank at that moment, and actually it looked good.
What I love about
Sorry,
Ciri's
trying too
powers,
hard.
though, is that they come about when she's she has nothing left.
Yeah.
It's like she just screams, and it's like that's all she has left in her, and then it just comes out. I think that's such an amazing way for her to have discovered it. It wasn't just like, she doesn't get it when she's a princess and she's got this perfect life and she's safe. She gets it when she really needs it. So.
Mm-hmm. And for the show, did you guys get to spend a lot of time together on the set?
No.
We
Not
don't meet
at all.
We don't meet in the first season.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Spoilers, no.
Yeah, I know.
No, we weren't on set ever.
No,
I don't think I even know. But offset. We went and ate hummus.
We went and ate hummus in Budapest.
So is that a thing now, the hummus thing?
Yeah, love a good hummus.
Love a good hummus.
So when you're off the set, you guys are like, she's on the set, and we can let's hang out because she's.
Oh God, yeah.
a star.
I think initially, what's going to draw us together anyway is the fact that we are, we are the women of the show, and I think we were both very excited to meet each other, and Henry as well.
And Henry,
and every other, obviously every other cast member on the set, but we knew that we knew about the bond that them three have as characters,
and that we will if it continues, we'll always be in it.
Yeah,
together,
so you make it. Yeah, you. Well, it was hard work, but made an effort to be friends.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question would be, for the video game stuff. Have you played the video games? Will you play the video games?
I have played the video games, not all of it. I've got a video of myself that was filmed by my flatmate at the time when I got the part of watching the opening sequence in the video games, and just like my mouth just dropped. But no, I haven't really. It's my brother and his friends that have immersed themselves in the games, and but yeah, like I said, we drew from the source material, the novels. So yeah, that's where that's what I immerse myself in.
Cool.
Yeah, all I've done is I watched some clips online, but I haven't actually done it myself.